Woo! This time on Bitchin' Kitchen, it's Dysfunctional Family Pizza Night. Bea, why sit back and order a pie when you can get your messy husband and screaming kids to make a bordel in the kitchen, Nadia? Okay, maybe not my best sales pitch. Let's try this again. Today, we're gonna cook up my family's secret recipe for rustic pan pizza, dough and all, sold. First up, a potato pizza loaded with crispy onions and herbs. That's some dirty carb-on-carb action, my friend. Then, we're whipping up an all-dressed beauty with salami di Genoa, tangy kalamata olives, pecorino, and fresh spinach. For dessert, we're letting nothing go to waste and frying up the leftover dough into frittelle, Italian donuts, served with a creamy chocolate-nougat fondue. Panos, yapsabal leaf lard.
We're kicking it old school, bro.
The spice agent talks yeast.
It's a lie!
Hans is not in this episode.
Mary had a will.
I'm Nadia G, and you're watching Bitchin' Kitchen Season 2! Woo! I have such fond memories of pizza nights. My family sitting around the table, Dad throwing little pieces of salami at me, yelling, "Ma catch it in your mouth, Nadia, what are you good for?" Mom screaming, "Stop it, Joe, she's not a cat!" Whether you're throwing things at each other or yelling in the name of conversation, pizza night is a sacred tradition that's guaranteed to bring your family and thighs closer together. That's why today, I'm gonna share my family's secret recipe for our beats with you. Let's get cooking. We'll start with the sauce. Here I've got 3.5 cups of San Marzano tomatoes. We're gonna throw in a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, 3 minced garlic cloves, about 5 basil leaves, tear them up, 1/2 cup of fresh minced parsley, tac, tablespoon of dried basil, teaspoon of dried oregano, straight from the bunch, pinch of hot chili flakes, 2 tablespoons of finely grated Parmigiana Reggiana, lots of freshly cracked pepper. Now crush it with your hands. And don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Or better yet, get your kids to do this. Imagine, they're gonna have so much fun squeezing the tomatoes between their little fingers. Plus, it teaches them a valuable life lesson. As long as you're cooking up a bitchin' meal, you can play with your food all right. That's like a metaphor, a deep metaphor. Deep, deep. Give my hands a rinse. This sauce is so amazing with that garlic and all those herbs. We'll just cover it up and refrigerate for minimum 3 hours. Or better yet, overnight. On to our dough. Now, when most people think about authentic Italian pizza, they usually envision those thin crust wood-fired pies. But my family never made it that way. Why? Well, the lack of a wood-burning oven is a good reason. But more importantly, the way we scoff, those wimpy thin-crust pizzas, they're an appetizer at best. So we started making big pizzas, rustic pan pizzas, and devised an ingenious baking strategy for a guaranteed crispy crust. Here, I've got 10 ounces of warm water. Dump in a teaspoon of yeast, and leave it alone for 5 minutes. Here's the spice agent with more on yeast.
Thank you, Nadia. Yeast are microorganisms classified in the kingdom of fungi. But the question remains, who is this king? Do they pay taxes to the Portabella? Kiss the ring of the truffle? Nobody knows. It remains a mystery. Did you know there are over 1,500 species of yeast? Sounds like the king better have a good DJ at the vomatorium. Or just like Milchemet 67, there will be a yeast revolution on Twitter. Anyways, back to family night. During my intense drinking research, I did notice something that yeast and parents have in common. They both reproduce asexually. Back to you, Nadia.
That's a good one. I like that one. Wait. Come back. I like that one. When we get back, we're gonna finish this dough, talk toppings, and bug my mom a bit, so stay hungry.
Your mom?
But yeah, When I was a teenager, she used to throw out all my torn fishnets. When I used to ask her about it, I never seen no fishnet. No fishnet. Yeah, no fishnet. Welcome back. Today I'm passing down my family's secret recipe for rustic pan pizza. But when it comes to family, a lot more than recipes get passed down, huh? And it ain't always tasty. Like annoying habits. Take my mom, for example. She always manages to see the negative side of things. This lady doesn't plan for retirement. Oh no, she plans for losing her job due to a crippling illness caused by a third world war and don't know what's Nadia gonna eat, huh? And as I got older, guess what? I started doing the exact same thing, always seeing the bad side. But let me tell you, after years of therapy, I've nipped it right in the bud, my friend. Now anytime I see the glass half empty, I immediately fill it with Chardonnay. Let's make this dough, huh? Our yeast has been developing for about 5 minutes. We're gonna throw in 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, a teaspoon of raw sugar, and a teaspoon of sea salt. Whisk. Onto our dry ingredients. The old switch and slam, huh? In a big bowl, add 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of whole wheat flour, swish it around a bit, make a hole in the middle, pour in our yeasty liquid, and mix it up. You see that it's too wet and goopy? Add a bit more flour, about 1/4 cup at a time. There we go. Now, dust a clean surface with flour and knead the dough for about 10 minutes. Now, this recipe makes a focaccia-like dough, but there's all kinds of different doughs out there. For example, in Napoli, they make this one style that's soft and tender, like naan bread. So delicious. This way, they can fold the pizza into quarters and scoff it al libretto, which means book-style pizza. I guess these Italians thought a folded pizza resembled a book, and hence the downfall of the Italian economy, huh? Now, you know the dough is ready, because it's super elastic. Check it out. And it puffs back into shape. Okay, now, in a big ceramic bowl, add 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Swish it around a little bit so the bottom is completely coated. Throw in our ball of dough. Flip it over so it's coated in oil. Now cover it with a piece of plastic wrap. This way the dough doesn't get all crusty. And place a tea towel on top. Let it rise for 2 hours until it's doubled in size. Wash my hands. Woo! Look how massive it is. Now sucker punch it right in the spleen. Oh, and let it rise for another hour. Topping time. We'll start with my childhood favorite pizza, pizza con le patate, potato pizza. Now, I first tasted this pizza at my Zia Carmela's house. There were a bunch of firsts at Zia Carmela's house, like tasting a habanero at the age of 4, or watching a pig being gutted in a family fun vacation video. But the potato pizza compensated, though. I think. Grab a mandolin and thinly slice 2 russets. Ditto for a Vidalia onion. You gotta love a mandolin. It does all the work for you until it slices off a chunk of your palm. So don't stare at the camera like you're a cooking show host. Focus! Set this stuff aside and slice up a couple of sprigs of rosemary. Chop, chop. And that's that. For pizza numero 2, we're gonna slice up a 1/4 pound of salami Genoa. Here I got 1/2 cup of tangy kalamata olives. Just roughly chop them up. Slice up 1/2 pound of mozzarella di bufala. You want the slices to be about 1/4 inch thick. And grate 1/2 cup's worth of pecorino. Looks like 1/2 cup, no? It's good for me, Argentina. Now, we're gonna julienne some baby spinach. Check it out. And you roll it. You then, like a rock star, slice it. Look at that, huh? Who juliennes like this, huh?
Nobody at Chief and Ass.
When we get back, we're gonna dress these pizzas. Panos is gonna give us the goods on leaf lard, and I'm gonna divulge my family's secret technique for a guaranteed crispy crust. That's what I call a cliffhanger. For a cookie. Shpak. Welcome back to Dysfunctional Family Pizza Night, where we're making all kinds of pizza. A luscious potato and rosemary, an all-dressed beauty loaded with tangy salami di Genoa and buffalo mozzarella. That's some tasty ingredients right there. But here's some advice for you. On Family Pizza Night, let your kids choose their own ingredients. So what if you're not a fan of chocolate-covered raisins and ham? It's all about empowering your squiblets. See, if you always micromanage your kids' lives, you end up breeding out the traits you admire most in adults. Independence, courage, the ability to make pigeon sounds on command. So, let go. Start small and let them choose their own freaking toppings, huh? Except peas. Come on, can't put peas on a pizza. Grease 2 pizza pans with wheat lard. About a tablespoon per pan. Here I've got 2 batches of dough. So the dough we made earlier is good for 1 pizza. Mold it to the shape of the pan. While I do this, here's Panos to tell us more about leaf lard. Take it away, bro.
Nads, just for the record, okay? Me, I'm not into that family pizza night. Why? Because every night is family night at the Panayotis Kusiula's household. That's right. Every night we sit together and eat together. Me, my wife, my baby boy Vasilios, and my mother, and her grandfather, my grandmother, and my uncle visiting from Mykonos with his freaking Pomeranian, bro. Anyways, back to the lard, bro. Leaf lard is made of choice pork fat, which gives it a flaky, moist crust like nothing else. Now I know, lard might sound bad, bro, but did you know that it has less saturated fat and cholesterol than butter? Yeah. Also, leaf lard has no trans fat whatsoever, bro, compared to margarine or those other veggie shortenings.
Pano, era na paz.
I'm coming.
Pano.
I'm coming.
Ah, buon appetito, Panos. Okay, the biggest mistake people make when cooking pizza is adding all the ingredients in one shot. The raw dough can't handle all those toppings. You're just gonna end up with a soggy, mushali-de mess. That's why what you gotta do is add the ingredients in stages, progressively cooking the dough so that it has enough backbone for the final addition of heavy cheeses and meats. Let's do it. For our all dressed, add a couple of tablespoons of our fresh tomato sauce. Not too much, just enough to wet it. Fantastic. For our potato pizza, we're gonna throw on about 1-2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. And pop these babies in a 475-degree oven at the bottom rack for about 5 minutes to pre-crisp the crust. Now that our pizza has some backbone, we can add the rest of the ingredients. About a 1/4 cup of our fresh tomato sauce, and our fresh mozzarella di bufala, pecorino, our salami di Genoa. This is gonna be so delicious. Tangy kalamata olives. Onto our potato pizza. We're gonna add a couple of layers of our thin sliced potatoes in a scallop style. Oh yes, it takes some time, but trust me, it's worth it. Now, we're gonna throw on our sweet Vidalia onion, a generous pinch of sea salt, freshly cracked pepper, and about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil so the potatoes get nice and crispy. Final touch, our rosemary. Pop these babies back in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes until the cheese is bubbling. When we get back, we're gonna scoff these pizzas, make some Italian donuts, and I got a little surprise for you. That was creepy, no? All I need is some candy in a van. Welcome back to Bitchin' Kitchen's Dysfunctional Family Pizza Night. Now, I'd usually use this time to yap a little bit about the theme. But the pizza's ready! That's enough to even shut me up. Let's plate this dish. Me. Look at these pizzas. I haven't been this excited since I discovered LOL cats. It's amazing, these cats, they say funny things. Remove them from the pan immediately, or they're gonna get all soggy. Oh, like a ninja, huh? Oh. On our all-dressed pizza, we're gonna sprinkle on some of our baby spinach, just to make it seem like we're eating healthy, huh? Now cut it up. Buon appetit! Crispy salami di Genoa, the fresh tomato sauce loaded with garlic and herbs. Ooh, let's taste the potato pizza now. Wow, buttery potatoes, that rosemary. I'm telling you, this is a family dinner so good, you'll no longer regret having one. Did I say that out loud? What I meant to say was, the onions, so sweet. For dessert, we're making frittelle, Italian donuts. Now, wherever there's homemade pizza, there's frittelle. Why? Well, Italians are so cheap, they won't let an 80s hairstyle go to waste. Never mind pizza dough. So, the leftover dough is fried and traditionally served with sugar for dipping. But we're gonna take it to the next level and serve it up with a creamy chocolate-nougat fondue. With the donuts. Heat some canola oil to 350, then dust a clean surface with flour. Here I got some leftover pizza dough. Just grab off little chunks and roll them into sticks. If they get too sticky, toss them in the flour and roll some more. And fry them up for a couple of minutes until they're crispy and golden. They're done. Just drain them on a wire rack. You know, I gotta hand it to all the families out there. There's a ton of sacrifice involved in spawning. But yeah, maybe you have to take an extra job to pay for little Jimmy's mime lessons. Or quit your band to take him to those stinking mime lessons. But remember, you'll always have your fantasies. Chocolates. Little girl, oh, you look so fine. Oh, you look so sticky sweet. When you walk away, sunrise, baby, you died of me. Keep in mind you're the flavor of the week. Who are you? What do you do? That's cool. Little boy, oh, you look so fine. Oh, you look so sticky sweet. When you walk my way. Yeah! Here, I've got 2 cups of honey nougat milk chocolate melting on a double boiler over medium-low heat. Gonna throw in half a cup of bittersweet chocolate and half a cup of heavy cream at room temperature. Stir until melted. You kids are gonna love this. Maybe they won't. Maybe they're allergic to chocolate. But what do I know about your kids? Here I've got some granulated sugar in one bowl, some melted chocolate fondue in the other. Let's eat, huh? Today on Bitchin' Kitchen, we scoffed pizza with La Familia. Look, I don't want to sound too nerdy here, but it's super important to cook with your kids. Sure, cooking is an imperative life skill, but more importantly, it teaches your kids that if they get their hands dirty, they can accomplish anything that mom and dad will scoff with pride. Look, I don't have any kids here, but I've had boyfriends in their 20s, so I get it. Alla prossima! Little girl, oh, you look so fine. Oh, you look so sticky sweet.